All right. Good morning. It's morning. Morning here. It's 10 o'clock. This is not early for me. I don't know what my deal is. I don't know what my deal is. No idea. No clue. But I thought, unfortunately, we were not able to yesterday. My friends, my friends. It's been going. It's been a year. So, but we ended up like being like, yeah, we should, we shouldn't because it was e e. But I'm glad that they're okay. In fact, it is kind of big day today because later one said friend, it is their birthday. Well, birthday is coming. Birthday hasn't arrived yet, but birthday is soon for them. So we're doing birthday day. So welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, as MCCanary. Thought I would at least look at this again. Originally, I think my plan for October was I was gonna try to do a special October animation, but I was like, you should not get sidetracked on this project any more than you already have. I shouldn't. I should not. I shouldn't. I should always. I'm coming to a realization that like sometimes it comes down to more of persistence than uh regularity. Uh, as long as I'm hitting this every week, every other week, at least, and at least I'm making progress. So ideally every week, but every other week is better. Um, I'm a busy individual who, like last week, didn't like wake up until like 10 or 11. I was like, this is too late. I'm too exhausted. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I didn't unmute myself. I thought I did. My bad. Apparently, I am too tired to start. And Leon, cut it out. Come on, bud. Cut it out. Cut it out. Well, welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, MCCanary. We're doing animation, and it's been 13 minutes in. Well, it's actually probably been more like 5 minutes in, which I apologize for. My bad. I thought I hit unmute, but I guess I didn't. Do I keep on getting... What is happening? Okay, now I feel like... Did I not unmute again? I... Now I'm... What the fuck is happening? Why would that... Did I not unmute the second time? Hey, no, seriously, not right now. Cut it out. Now I... What is happening? Hello, everyone. Now, is there a ghost? Is there a ghost in my computer? Now I'm like... Boy, I wish I could go back far enough to... The hell? What in the... My computer's gaslighting me, I think. Maybe I'm gaslighting myself. I don't know. Well... Hey... Part of me wants to stop the stream and check. Part of me is like, maybe I did just not click it twice in a row, even though I definitely clicked it the second time. Okay, I know I clicked it this time. Maybe I didn't. I thought I did. Welcome, everyone. I don't know how long I've been muted now, because I somehow... What? Hold on. Hold on. Hang on. Hold on. Now I'm like... Fuck. Can I do this right now, or will it let me? I don't actually know. Hold on. Oh yeah, let me do this right now, huh? Let me see something. I'm gonna mute this there. That way you guys can't see it. Okay. 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 You can't hear me there. Maybe I did unmute, and then I got muted. What the fuck? What the fuck? What is happening? Okay, so I can verify. I can verify. It's not me. I could. What is happening recently? Sorry. Okay, I gotta vent. I gotta vent a little bit. What the fuck is going on? I'm losing my mind a little bit. This is not. This is just a new thing that's making me lose my mind. But seriously, what the fuck is going on? I just verified, without a reasonable doubt, that's... Let me test something. Okay, that ain't it. Okay, that ain't it. Okay, there's not like a shortcut I was hitting. Why? Why? Why did you do that, OBS? I'm just... It's being so fucking weird. My computer is continuing to kind of dance around being functional or not, apparently. But I did just confirm. Sorry for that fucking crash out, because I mean, like, my friend did say yesterday that like he actually recently just crashed out too, because the world is a nightmare right now. Again, I don't want to get into specifics on that, but do know that I think that the condition of the world is not so great, and I'm not happy about it, and I'm worried about it all the time. All the goddamn time. Weird. What in the fuck? Man, it's getting weird. Wouldn't. It just won't. What is happening to it? Okay, at least I can take a piss out of it. Um, it has seemed like recently things have been kind of a nightmare. Actually, I mean they've been a nightmare for a while, but things have like steadily been getting like worse, unfortunately. And I don't just mean like the condition of the world. I mean like even just things like here. I've noticed things have been getting worse. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I know that the real right thing to do is wait it out. It's fine. Stuff happens. What's more important is that you get through it rather than being like, why does things suck right now? Like, I do actually believe that. Still, I have noticed like, I mean, we've had peaks, but like, it's felt like I've been in a pretty bad decline recently for this. which is really not great to feel. I'm not gonna lie. Um, it has been very, very hard to grow recently, and I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way. Um, but I will say, like, it's been rough. But I appreciate all the support that I have gotten, and like have been trying to do more networking and stuff like that. It just, oh, it's a little worm. There's a little worm that's like, you know, everything that I'm doing is not necessarily a waste of time, but it's just not working. But that's the worm talking. That's me saying that because the worm is saying it, not because I want to believe that that is true. Is why I'm like, I appreciate like the support I've gotten. Like Atlanta was great, and like I feel like people have been very supportive, and like we've been able to accomplish what we have because people have been around, and because people have been there, um, and like it's hard. It's hard to do things. It's hard to make things, especially like right now. It feels like it is very, very difficult to create or make anything. Um, that said, like I just things keep on breaking that are out of my control. For example, the other day, like we were playing the finals, and that was the first time my internet has been so unstable since I've switched internet, and I was like, "What, man? What the hell? Give me a break. Give me a break." And I do think it was actually affecting like my ability to play the game, which sure I wasn't on it 100%. I had like not gotten very good sleep that night. The day before, I was kind of and I had not gotten very good sleep due to activity that I need to stop doing before I go to bed. That was kind of like the nail in that coffin of like, you know, oh, oh, uh I guess I should stop listening to how bad everything is right before I go to bed. Like it just kept me up. It just kept me up. I just kept on staring at crappy things that made me feel bad, and I was like, "Why did I do that to myself?" So I've like been like, okay, no more of that. No buts. Twitch out there. If you need to, always a friendly reminder. It is okay to be not okay with the state of things in the world right now, but it's also okay to have to take a step away from it so that way you don't actually lose your mind, because that kind of is what they want. Um, that is what people who are making the condition of the world feel like a big sloppy mess want, is for people to feel like the world is a big sloppy mess. And I will be vocal about saying the world is not a big sloppy mess. It is a big sloppy mess, but um, you're still a person. You're still alive. It's still good that you're here, and it's still good that even if the world is a big sloppy mess, that people are alive and living, and that you should still be alive and be living in a world that's a big sloppy mess. Because hopefully, if people start realizing that the world is a big sloppy mess enough, they'll start being able to realize that we should do something about the big sloppy mess the world is. How about that? But on that, like, kind of rant that I had, like, I've been having really weird stuff come up. Um, like, just outside of that have been like, God. Jeez. Like, just now, I had to unmute 3 times. I don't know why. Seems fine now, but what the. Why? Why? Just why? I have no idea what its deal was. Unsensical, nonsensical, don't understand. And I mean, to kind of air it, like, kind of like the way things have been going right now, like, YouTube is a mess because they really want shorts, but then sometimes shorts do work, and then sometimes shorts don't work. Just like frustrating because if shorts could work for what I want it to, then it'll be great. But if it won't, then I'm like, okay, thanks. You get out of here. You get out of here. Which is this is one thing I have to admit. Like Twitch is busted down on bots, but now probably viewership is down for everyone, so now it's harder to grow. But also, the bots are bad. I'm not saying they should be there. I'm saying it still had an effect that it's like you solved a problem but didn't solve the other problem, which is now people aren't getting views at all. And I don't understand how. I'll be honest, for Twitch, it's a different beast because Twitch, I feel like Twitch is not a platform that really spreads anyone's content, right? I think people just find somebody from someplace else and then find out that they do Twitch, and then you're like, oh, that guy does Twitch. I guess I'll check out what his Twitch is. Like, I don't think Twitch actually does anything to, as far as I know. Maybe it does, and if you do, you ain't doing it for me, as I can tell. And if you are doing it for me, who fucking cares? Because it doesn't feel like it, so. But, I mean, I'm just a person, and just like anyone else, I do and don't deserve as much as anyone else to be able to have that kind of like spread and have that kind of support. So, man, I just ugh, I missed the boat I've missed the boat every time. I even touched the boat on most recent. I feel like with YouTube. Ooh, in there. That's how I feel right now. I even fucking literally slapped the boat and like tried to jump aboard with the YouTube shorts, and they pushed me out of the boat. It's like, what? So, you know, it's something that I've been trying to figure out a little bit. It's like how to do better, be better at a lot of this stuff. Not just animation, but like everything that I'm doing online. Because I am really excited every time I like do something like, for example, the edits, the mothership edits. I am super excited to do those. Like, they're fun to make. I enjoy making them. They are a blast. They're super exciting because I'm like, yeah, I'll be able to utilize shorts in a way, both that a way that nobody used, and shorts are popular right now. So like, it'll be great. And it's like I've run into a couple problems. Like, okay, some of these are getting a little bit long. So I need to figure out how to deal with that. But like, even my most recent one was just like, and you no longer exist, and it's like, oh, why can't you just chill, internet, just like a little bit, just like chill a little bit. Ugh, not think about it. I don't want the hand to shrink. I want it to the volume. That kind of a weird angle. And that's mainly what's been on my mind recently. I get it. There's never any guarantees, and it's partly luck. Um, but there's a certain amount of like, also, yes, I do need to keep patient, but also I need to be willing to be like, I want to be vocal because I've noticed this about things like the people that I do enjoy, and they are willing to be frank. I'll be honest. Like they are willing to be grateful. I am grateful. But like vocally grateful in a way that I've actually always struggled with, of like people being able to support them. Because in reality, I've not been a very well supported person in most of my life. So when support finally started happening, it was both great and stressful. Like I had to process that part of my life because, truth be told, nobody is no. It has been very bad. Has been very bad for me when it comes to making things. Actually, I think making things has been a very negative experience in a lot of ways. And if you wonder, then like, why do you keep doing it? The thing that I think sets me apart of people like that is that I think that my negative experience with making things has nothing to do with my experience with making things, if that makes sense. It doesn't have. Sorry. Fuck. Update to animate? Like that. It it no, it's not that. What the, why is it like that? What happened? I hope that doesn't fuck with anything. That might explain why that was being weird. I don't know what that means. I don't know what happened here. I don't know what happened there. Was I using the wrong? Might have been using the wrong brush, maybe. Oh well. Anyways, I feel like for me, anyways, I feel like I have been really. I feel like most of my negative experience with my creative process has nothing to do with disliking being creative and has everything to do with my relationship with sharing my stuff. Because I feel like a lot of times, and this is really hard to combat, like, I think this is really hard to combat, is that I I've had the lived, oh no, wrong way. I've had the lived experience, the unfortunate lived experience that um a lot of people have not been receptive to my art, like, at all. Um and I don't know what to do about that. Not because I want to be like famous or anything, but like I feel like I do put a lot of passion into everything. I really do. Like even if it's like, I think there's like this implication, I think, sometimes, that it seems like I'm lazy with my work, when in reality, what I feel like I do very well is that I'm very good at kind of being able to generate and create things fairly reliably, um, and not try to overwork my work, and I only get better at it like as time has gone on. Like anytime I put too much into a piece, it's gotten worse. Like I feel like anytime I try to like really be like, I'm gonna be artsy with it, I'm just gonna put everything into it, and I'm like, this looks bad. Uh like I can't do that. I know people who can, I know plenty of people who can, but I'm not that kind of artist. I never have been and I never will be. Part of the problem is like I was never really good at networking, because honestly, I didn't. understand how to very effectively engage with people. I didn't, because people made it clear that anything I did was not wanted. Anything I did wasn't good. Essentially, nobody ever really saw my stuff as all that good, and I still get vibes of that every now and then. And I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what to do about that. Like, I really don't. Like I get a general vibe of yeah, whatever for a lot of the stuff that I do, and it's like sure, I guess, but it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great because I don't see it as a I don't see it as I'm trying to be better than everyone else. I'm just trying to share what I do. I'm just trying to share what I do. That's the genuine way that I see it. Like anybody else would want. So sometimes there's a feeling of like because I do not want to make it about me in any given situation. Like I really don't. There's just sometimes a feeling that people you trying to get your stuff out there as like all you're trying to do is be more important than like anyone else is like not really. Also, hi Knight, if you're wondering what I'm talking about today, I hope okay good, I'm not unmuted. It's been already a heck of a start, so do know that this is not coming from nowhere this time. This is coming from me having a little bit of a crash out moment. And I need to talk about this because it's something that's been on my mind recently, and I appreciate that you're here. I appreciate that you and everyone have been supportful. And this is something maybe I need to pepper this more in. Is like maybe during ad breaks, one of the things I might do in an ad break every now and then that I need to learn a lesson from Mr. McElroy because I've been rewatching a lot of Adventure Zone for preparing actually to like get an idea of like what's the flow of live play look like? What does it look like when people do live play? What are things that I like that the McElroys do? I've been re-listening to Taz. What is it like when you just first start? Taz was their first project. I also binged Amnesty, which is also quite good. Highly recommend. But I bring that up, and one of the things I've kind of pulled, if you guys have noticed in my outro, is that I've changed like some of my verbiage in specifically how they thank people for sharing their content, because that is a thing that helps. It is genuine. I believe you might be an example of that, Slime. I think you told friends about the channel once, and people came, and it does matter. Like it does. Like people come and check stuff out if you let your friends know. So maybe during my, especially like if I'm doing my solo streams when I only usually have one ad break because it's only about 2 hour streams anyways. Maybe one of my ad breaks I just go, hey, friendly reminder out there to everybody who's listening. Wait, that doesn't work. Maybe I should do it after the ad break when everybody's there, or before the ad break when everyone's here. So I know you, sneaky scoundrel, you're not giving me my ad pennies. No, it's fine. Because the irony is I don't do any advertising. I don't. The only advertising I do is completely. I refuse to give Meta. I promoting on the internet. I feel like is a trap, right? Like even if it works, they're getting you. It's a gotcha, no matter what. Like if you pay for promotion, it's just a way to cheat the system a little bit that they've done on purpose because they know people want to. They know advertising gets people seen to some extent. When kind of the advertising I'm going for, I swear a setting changed or something because my lines are being now. Here, let me test something immediately. I think I turned something on accident. Sorry. I have to test something. But yeah, I had a heck of a start, which is funny because I was like, I feel okay. I don't feel 100%, but I feel fine. Then I started and then everything broke like immediately. This is something new. OBS just decided to mute me twice? OBS just decided, hey, you don't get to talk. For some reason. I don't understand why is the part. That's the part that gets me is like, OBS just was like, no, you don't. And I was like, why not OBS? And that's why it was like super frustrating and like weird, and I thought I was losing my mind. Good. Thank you. It was so weird. It was right at the beginning. I thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I mean, I did kind of have a little bit of a nervous breakdown. I hope I made it an entertaining nervous breakdown, but I will admit it was a nervous breakdown. I almost fucking stopped. I was like, you know what? No stream today. The gods have spoken, and you know what? I have to remember my motto. I spit in the face of the gods. That is my motto a little bit. It's true. You're right. Those two things can be true. Um, but like I had started and then I unmuted like I do, and then like a few minutes later I looked over and I was muted. I was muted on OBS. I was like, what the fuck? Have I been muted this whole time? Well, sorry everybody. So I unmuted again, and then I looked over and I was muted again, and I was like, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. I'm gonna lose my mind. What is happening? Hasn't happened again since, but I can't explain it. I don't know what happened. I don't know. That's what I live with. Technology breaks around me, and I don't know why. And trust me, it's not because I'm a grandpa. I have to fix everything that breaks, so I know technology pretty fucking well. When something breaks, I have to fix it. Ugh. Sorry, I have to make a note real fast. I'm spitting in the face of the gods. Spit in the face of the gods. That's the motto of the day, everybody. It does sometimes. I mean, how many people apparently this has actually been a frustration that I've heard about that I'm like, boy, I'm glad I haven't gotten into programming yet. I mean, I'll probably do like I've done a little bit of programming, and like probably everybody else who can report this, most of my programming is bullshit. Most of my programming is bullshit. Those are not the lines. No, it's not line. What is? I'm seeing a third line. Oh wait, no, no. We're good. Still, this is what I'm saying. Something has changed. Changed. Something has changed. Something is different. I don't know what it is. Problem. Still, ain't normal. Did I hit a button? Yeah. Because I can't do fills all of a sudden. And it's like, if I go here, why can't I do a fill anymore? It's definitely enclosed. It won't do it. It won't do the fill at all. Huh. Content creator you listen to for news recounted his story on how one of his programming things stopped working. He copied the code into a new file, deleted the old one, and renamed it to not break anything, and it started working again. Yep. Yep. Didn't change anything either. I've done a little bit of HTML. Like HTML is wizardry a little bit. It doesn't make sense. Here, I might restart animate. Here, we're gonna restart animate because it's bugging me way too much. Like, I have no idea why it's broken, but we're going to Just do it again. Uh-huh. And that's a line of fucking code in a text document for all intents and purposes. Like, how does that get corrupted? How does a line of text get corrupted? It's weird. It's bizarre. It's truly unknowable sometimes. Oh look, there it is. Ah, dude, it's perfect. Finished. Okay, it didn't fix that. So whatever's happening there is like happening. Like I don't know why this is acting like this isn't full when it is filled. That's why I'm like freaking out a little bit. I'm like, why acting like that? It shouldn't be acting like that. Try this. Fill. There. See? That's what you do. Cosmic rays. You're right. It is the I bet the cosmic rays muted my stream. You're right. You're absolutely correct. It's the cosmic ray. This is why we need to block the sun. This is why we need to make a Dyson sphere around the planet so that way we can soak up all the light from the sun and the sun can no longer fuck with our computation devices. Boy, that is a bit. I don't know if I want to explain myself. I've just learned that the Dyson sphere is a cool idea that was made in bad faith. That's what I didn't even know really what a Dyson sphere was before I learned this, and I just knew it was a weird science-y science fiction thing. So, uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh shit, you're right. What's funny is like, and I think like the video's intent with this. I saw a video of a new creator who then had a follow-up video who I felt really bad for because this is something I want to vocalize here because I feel like I want to be an example of the two wolves issue, right? Like, there's two wolves inside of you. They're both gay. No, that's not the one. Well, I'm one version of that. No, the two wolves hypothetical of like there's two wolves inside of you. One is wanting you to do good things. The other one's doing bad thing. Wants you to like do bad things or believe bad things, and you choose which one you actually support. You have as a person you have free will to be able to decide which one you actually want to operate under. And the reason why I bring that up is I feel like sometimes when I stream, if I'm like not having a good day, if like say earlier, like I was having technical issues, like it gets under my skin, it gets into my head. If I'm playing Hunt, it's like if I'm having technical issues, if I'm not playing very well, if I'm like just not doing a good performance, I feel bad because like part of this is about performance, both from a verbal standpoint, it's about being performative to be able to talk and discuss things. Um, but also from like a technical standpoint, like I want to at least be like competently performing. I want to like show a performance of like what to do in a game and stuff. Like that's part of the fun. Like I'm not the best player on the planet. I would never claim that. But I do know the way that I and my friends interface with games can be entertaining because it isn't just about watch somebody who doesn't know how to play a video game very well be bad at a video game. Like I actually think the thing that we do well here is that no, we're not necessarily good or bad. If anything, we are competent at games, but also we just like to screw around with games. Um, but I feel like sometimes I get frustrated, and then that frustration comes out when I'm live, and it's like, you shouldn't. Note out there, if you're making anything or doing anything, don't show your frustration. And that's ironically a little frustrating. Like, then you don't have an out, and it's like, then it just builds up, and you're just like, fuck. Because again, like, due to the nature of live streaming, since it is a live performance, I'm on the spot. You can't like edit that out in post. You can't do another take. You can't come back to it later. I'm here. I'm in the mood that I'm in. Can't really change that. However, that's still again a little bit more like okay, I need to be better. that still is me. I had to be better because I feel like I don't want to represent a part of myself that is there and be like, that's okay entertainment. It's not. I don't want that. They're both fighting for third place. See that one too. That's me too. Um, because really, in reality, like you shouldn't. I want this to be about having fun and like being able to have fun with things and have a good time. That's why, like, even if we try something and we're like not really into it, we'll still try it, but we won't go back to it, even if it's like something that would weirdly people would be able to enjoy. Like, and I bring that up because the Dyson Sphere thing was from somebody. I don't remember her name. I just found her recently. She's just she's a kind of like fun like hobby science person. She has an interest in physics. She likes physics a lot. She likes talking about physics and science. And she had a video where she talked about how it turns out that the Dyson Sphere is kind of whack. But not because the Dyson Sphere itself is whack as a concept, but because the person who came up with the Dyson Sphere was not a very good person and maybe made some questionable statements about why Dyson spheres could and should exist. Um, and that's unfortunate, and like that's valuable, and that's something that's entertaining, and I'm glad that she talked about it. It was entertaining. But then apparently her takeaway was that it drew in a giant audience of people who are like, yeah, physics is fucking dumb. Yeah, you shouldn't believe anything physicists should ever say because they say shit like this. And it's like, she was like, I don't want, that's not why I made that video. I love physics. What are you talking about? And I don't want, like, I totally get that. I totally understand that. I feel bad for her because I feel like I started a lot of this back in my days when I was younger, when I was a little bit edgier, even at the accelerated age of 22. Or I guess it was more. It's been 7-ish years, so more like 25 when I really started doing this stuff. Because I was like on shit posting circles, and I was in Soapbox Manhammer, which is the closest to something like /B I would ever get to. /B, I think it's just called B. I don't remember. I've never actually been on 4chan that much. It like went on there once and went, yep, this is about what I expected, and then never went back. Um, uh, but like I was in that part of my life where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be like fucking, I'm gonna be like demo, I'm gonna be like these internet guys who say the funny thing and are kind of rude and crude. And like since I've developed, like the more I think about it, I've never really been that way. I've always had like a crass sense of humor, but crass doesn't mean crude. Crass just means like we'll make poop and piss jokes. We'll make if something is like upsetting to say, I'll laugh at it and be like, "Oh no, my brain shouldn't have thought that." Like that's fine. That's funny. Um, but like I don't actually want to be the kind of person that'd be like, "Yeah, I can say and do anything. Nothing matters." Like I can be a rude guy. Like as time has gone on, it's like, no, I don't actually want to be that kind of person because those kind of people are kind of assholes. Um, those people aren't fun. They actually aren't fun, and I do not want to be associated with that as I get older and have gotten older. And I want to be more like actually no, I want things to be good. I want things to be good instead of being like, wow, everything sucks all the time. Might as well add to the problem, I guess, because nothing matters. Like, no, I do genuinely want to see things improve both for myself and the world around me. And after a while, I began to, really actually accept and believe that it does really start with you. It starts with you. Things don't get better if you to let things, not just let things, but believe things can't get better. That's not to say things won't get worse. God knows I've been in a emotional roller coaster of life, what the fuck, in the last 5 years of my life, but not dead yet. I'd rather try to be a vocal voice of I'm not dead yet, so why quit now? And I want to be able to provide that to people. I genuinely do. I want to be able to say like, if I could say that, fuck, you could say it too. Really. There is something going on weird. I still don't understand what my there's a weird layering thing going on, and I don't know what's causing it is the problem. And it's messing with things for me. Huh. I actually get rid of my work. Usually that gets rid of my work. Really mad if I start having to do things in a single stroke. Because again, I don't know what I turned on. If I turn something on, I'm going to be mad because I don't know what I would have turned on to cause that to happen. And it's distracting. It's like giving me lines that I shouldn't care about. Like this right here. Like that. No, it should look. It should be solid. So I don't know why it's giving me these weird overlays now. It's a bit distracting. Oh God. Never mind. Don't do that. I don't know what's going on with that. It's very weird. It's it's distracting. As long as it doesn't prevent me from as long as it doesn't prevent me from doing that, that's fine. Because that's what was happening before. It was like I couldn't fill for some reason. Why can't I fill? That makes no sense. Some weird jitter going on too. There we go. Anyways, all that to say, my technology is constantly trying to sabotage me. I don't know what's going on with it. Goddamn gremlins. Goddamn gremlins trying to ruin. Hey, you know, gremlins actually had a stream. They'd probably do very well, actually. Let's be honest. Ease in a little bit. Oh, ad break inbound. Ad break inbound. This is something I. Okay. Okay. So, maybe now. We'll have an ad break in a minute. Always remember, if you don't want ads, support the channel by doing the thing. By subscribe. You could subscribe. You could do it. Tell your friends about the channel too. It helps. If you want to see this do better, if you want to see this do better, you can do something about it. That's all I need to say. That's all I need to tell people is you know, you don't if you want this to do something, just tell your friends. Hell, tell your friends. Like if you join, I should be like, tell your friends, bring them in here. Friends wouldn't like this. Why are they your friends? That's always what I say. Your friends should like the things you like. That's not true. Don't listen to that. Actually, that's bad advice. That's terrible advice. That's very bad advice that I just gave. Don't listen to that at all. Ugh. I'm glad I'm here though. I'm gonna get some water. My body. But yeah, I might do that. I might do that more before every time. We'll see. I should just be like, before every ad break, I should just be like, hey, shout out to everybody who's watching. We appreciate you. Like this, go tell your friends. I should just say something like that. That's all I need to say. Is just be like, hey, if you're liking this, remember, spreading the word will help the stream. And it would. If you enjoyed this, tell your friends. Tell your friends. You won't. Obviously, I should do it during the ad break, because, you know, nobody's gonna hear it. Nobody's gonna hear it then. Because it did just occur to me. I was like, wait a second. When Mr. McElroy does his Mr. Mackle time, talk about all the things that don't have anything to do with the thing at hand. He does that like halfway through. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it at the end. He does it like halfway through. So maybe I should do mine like about halfway through when people probably are watching. Because unfortunately, I mean, I've been party to this. I've been responsible for this. Like, I don't make it to the end of every video I watch. It happens. You get distracted. You start watching something else. Stop in the middle of a video. Like, happens to the best of us. So, but I mean, that's learning. I'm learning, and I'll admit, like, I'm just trying to find better ways to do this, better ways to reach out and engage with people. I do think that like networking has been going better because I've like actually like made connections with people like I normally wouldn't, that I hadn't in a long time. And what's funny is I feel like I wasn't bad at networking. I was bad at being able to do so in a way that was like good for me. Because like I feel like I've been on so many different shelves of the internet. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I've been to places on the internet. Um I've like talked to like plenty of people, and have been in plenty of groups, and like have spoken to like managers of groups and stuff like that. Like, I know how to get around and like talk to people. I just need to like actually be like, yeah, I can do the thing. I can do the thing with people who will actually benefit and like want me to succeed. That's the thing, is like I think that's the hard part. At least it was the hard part for me, is like having those people actually want to see me succeed. I think I've run into a lot of struggle of like not not really getting support in which people want. Like, people are like, yeah, they're just doing their own thing, whatever. But not like actually seeing anyone actually want to like see me do better, if that makes sense. Not just do good, but like see my stuff grow and like improve and like have more value, I guess. Like, I think most of the time people are just like, yeah, Isaac will just do their own thing. It's fine. Who cares? It's just Isaac doing their thing. And, as time has gone on, it has really helped that I've gotten a lot better support, and also I've come to appreciate the support I've always had for people who didn't just always feel that way. Um, you know, like I still stream with people who I've been streaming with for now 7 or 8 years. Like, even though they've been honest, and they're like, well, success or whatever, but they still haven't stopped. They haven't told me it hasn't been successful, so thus we'll stop doing it. Like, you know, it's been fun to be able to work on it that way, and that's the kind of space I do want for it, is like to be able to be like, I want us to try and I want us to do our best and I want us to continue to grow, but I also don't want it to ever become like we didn't do good enough. Rah! Who cares? Doing good enough is sometimes impossible. Doing good enough is sometimes impossible. Sometimes it's good enough to just do anything rather than be able to exceed your best. It's hard to exceed your best. It's not impossible, but it is hard, and you can't do it every time. And I don't think I think that a lot of what I believe is that I do what I do in the hopes that I will succeed my best, but at the very least just be here to do okay. Everybody should do. I think okay is okay. Because okay is okay willing to if you're willing to say I'm not only going to be okay every day. If that makes sense. Like some days you'll do better, some days you'll do worse, some days you'll do okay. The okay days are fine. I think for me, it's so do your okayest because there'll be days where you'll be better and worse than okay. Okay should just be a kind of day you have. Not every day should be okay. In both directions, though. Always remember that. I'll admit, yesterday I actually was having a surprisingly good day. I was having like a really, really good day. But then my friends weren't. They were having really, really bad days, unfortunately. And I don't blame them for that. They're my friends, so. I rambled. I've been rambling. I've been trying to be a positive force in the world. But I think you already knew that. Shit. Not unmuted, which is good. I am unmuted. Shit. No, don't listen to OBS. There. OBS being like, oh, so they don't want to be muted. Oh, so they don't want to be unmuted anymore. I can solve this. So weird. I still don't know why. Still, it's gonna bug the shit out of me. Reality, sometimes. Sometimes that's what gaslighting is, right? Is it just like, don't the reality is hard to remember. I think I don't know nobody has a perfect memory. In before what about photographic memory people? Well, that's the thing about photographic memory people. Photographic memory people, eidetic memory, right? Like eidetic memory is just very clear. I don't think it's necessarily perfect though. I think it's just they can because it's about the memory, it's about the clarity of memory. Most people, like probably me, memory gets a little fuzzy sometimes, but it doesn't mean we don't remember anything and we don't remember things that happened or that we don't remember or that we remember things that didn't happen. I think eidetic memory, which probably needs some study, just means you can remember something that didn't happen perfectly. I bet that happens to them. Because you can't remember everything perfectly. You probably, eidetic memory just, people can remember things very clearly. They can recall information very well. But unfortunately, our brains do not retain information reliably. Our brains retain information that it gets, and information doesn't need to be real to be information.
I think. So unless there has been study that in fact, yes, those with eidetic memory and photographic memory do in fact perfectly remember experiences. I actually think that um, it's not about being able to perfectly recall an experience, but rather being able to re being able to access information in your brain with surprising clarity. That's what that I don't know how I got on this, but yeah, I have a feeling about that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. And I think like cuz like I would say like my memory is pretty good. I can remember like if something happened, I can recognize something. I can recognize information really really well. But I wouldn't say that my like point memory is very good. I've definitely had to train it because I did not. We'll put it this way without getting too in the weeds. I did not dedicate things to memory for a large portion of my life because it was not worth. Uh, and when I say this, I don't mean this is a like I regret this happening. No, I was at a period of my life, or a large period of my life, from a very young age, in which I did not value the experiences I was having enough, dedicate them to memory. That's what I experienced growing up. So now I have to really train and learn how to actually remember things, and I have. I think I have. Like even to the point that people are like, "You fucking remember that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, usually." Like I actually can remember things if I really sit down and focus on it, like retain and process information. But unfortunately, growing up, I didn't feel like I was having very many experiences that were enriching my psyche enough to hold on to, unfortunately. Um, where you're like, well, you're missing out on all of those memories. And I'm like, not really. I can at least tell you they were not good to hold. A lot of them is unfortunate. Um, because guess what? If they were, I would have held them. Exactly. And unfortunately, growing up for me, it was not a very many of them. But I also feel like that's I'm not alone on that. Like I've heard some people like talk about a lot of them like school. I feel like I had a really interesting experience listening to somebody like being like I wish I could recount school, but school was not a positive experience. And for me, it's not so much even that the school was a negative experience. I think school was a positive experience for me from an intellectual standpoint and was a very negative thing for me from a very social standpoint. Then again, but again, I feel like my lived experience with school was the only good people I met in school were the fucking teachers. And still, even then, there was one teacher that I did learn that taught me that not all the teachers are good. So, exactly. That too. Some information is just information. That's why I think it's important to always distinguish that, like with the concept of an eidetic memory, they just can remember what they ate last week because their brain categorizes things that way. But who's to say that also even eidetic memories don't just make information very clear? And not because the information is always right, because brains are not good at brains are very good at creating pathways of information.
but I don't think they're very good at actually distinguishing when information is real. I actually think brains are really bad at distinguishing reality. They're very bad at it. Um, Ironically, you would think they would be very good at it. I don't think they are, and I don't have a problem with that. By the way, like I think that is a thing that is a part of the human experience. Of we are a jumble of experiences that we have that over time we can't be certain happened because we can't physically go back and check all the time. You can't. You can't physically because you don't record everything. You can't. You don't unless we record everything with a video camera. You can't go back and check. That's why I'm saying like I don't. Eidetic memories probably are just very clear memories, but they still have the same restriction of. But you can't go back and say, "Oh yeah, you're right." How could you? You've already had that experience. That experience can't happen again. Don't ask me where this conversation came from, by the way. I'm just feeling weird about. I sometimes it just turns out that a lot of my drawing streams is just me processing information. You should process it too. Process the information that you're faced with it. Otherwise, you'll go cuckoo wacko crazy. Probably. You'll be just like me. Wee-hee. Thinking about things all the time. It's not that bad. Yeah, that. Draw my sausages correctly. Hydrate bot. Thank you, Hydrate bot. Anyways, Dyson spheres are silly. Funny is, I think they actually are a cool concept from this standpoint of a Dyson sphere is pretty fucking evil. But they've been genuinely talked about as like kind of a good thing. It's like, well, I mean, it's actually not. You really break down what a Dyson sphere is doing. Not a good thing. But as a hypothetical, it's an interesting solution to sort of a like energy problem that could exist, you know. It is a way to be able to harness a lot of energy, a lot like, but the like scale, the what's funny is like I feel like the scale for that to work is so much bigger, right? Than it would than the energy regained from it. It's like how many resources would you have to pump into that just to get that to work? That's why I think it's like I agree with most people that it's a cool science fiction concept, but science fiction works with like faux boundaries, right? Like part of what I enjoy about writing my science fiction setting right now for the Mothership game is that I have a lot more freedom to be able to be like, I know that parts of this I want to like be internally consistent and I want it to like make sense internally, but but I also understand that some of it I can be like a little bit more hypothetical with. Science fiction allows you to be more hypothetical with stuff since it's ultimately fiction,
and it should be treated as hypothetical. I don't think you should ever look into science fiction and be like, yeah, it could be that way. It'll definitely be that way. No, the whole thing that's good about science fiction is it allows you to process ideas that could be hypothetically real, but there is not there is no evidence that that is actually reality. I think the best science fiction utilizes a lot of like intellectual processing, but it does not actually scientifically accurate all the time. I don't think science fiction scientifically accurate all the time, and it shouldn't. It's still fiction. It's still writing. It's still creativity. Creativity demands a little bit of flexibility, and the irony is I think if you get way too sciencey, you lose that flexibility. And science as a creative tool, for me, science as a creative tool is essentially being able to really process an environment creatively, not necessarily make something that 100% is realistic. Hot take, example, you should not be trying to make the most realistic video game ever. That game would suck. And I think a lot of people agree on that. I think there's a pretty widely accepted, I was going to say discourse, whatever the opposite of discourse is, because if it was discourse, it wouldn't be discourse. I guess the discourse is a lot of people want to believe that a game is good because it's quote-unquote realistic, and I have a hot take. A game is good not because it is realistic, but because it can dramatize reality. That's when a video game is good. That's when a lot of fiction is good, is when you can exaggerate reality. So that way reality, it still feels like there's reality there, but you don't have to deal with reality's bullshit and get the good stuff instead. Exactly. That's why anybody who claims that what makes Tarkov good is it's realistic, it's one, not, and two, no. Just no. You're not wrong. Reality is very tedious sometimes. That doesn't make it fun. It doesn't make it good. And that's not to. I think what I would add to this argument, what I would always add to this discussion, is it's not. I am not here to say yes. It's bullshit. People shouldn't try to make things feel as realistic as possible. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. We still should utilize reality as a point of reference when we're making anything, including video games. However, we should be cognizant enough to know what parts of that reality need to be focused on and exaggerated to get the best out of them. An example of this that I can utilize, I think, 3 reference points for, though I haven't read it and I need to. Actually, no, I can give you an example of a book that I have read. I say as I'm like, wait, did I read that book? I might have read parts of it in high school, but we didn't read the whole thing. I originally was going to use the example All Quiet on the Western Front, but I don't think I've ever actually read that book. I think I saw a movie, but I wasn't going to use that because I'm like, okay, I can't use it. I can't use that as an example. I haven't recently read that book. I can, however, say the 3 examples I have here, or 4 examples now between media of how each of these mediums do a good job to be able to distill reality out and get the parts of reality that are important and valuable without bogging you down in the other realities that are either not going to add anything or make the experience worse, are the movie Saving Private Ryan, the show Band of Brothers, the book, and I mean this when I say this, though there are probably other examples I can think of, the book Catch-22, and the video game Hell Let Loose. What do these 4 things have in common? Other than World War II? They give you perspective on World War II to understand how viscerally intense war gets. And it's not good And it's not just good for how horrifying it is, but how intense and how stressful and how it affects people and the things that you experience with it. And the reason why I actually put Hell Let Loose on that as well is because Hell Let Loose is environmental storytelling, the video game, through gameplay. That game works because it is able to really sell the tone of what World War II was like as a war. And they didn't do that by making a realistic World War II game. They did that by getting the atmosphere of what World War II felt like, the same way that Saving Private Ryan does, and the same way that Band of Brothers does, and the same way that Catch 22 does when Catch 22 actually really approaches the war. But I would say none of those pieces of media are realistic 100%. They're not. Because they're still dramatized. They're still dramatic. And I think humanity really responds well to dramatizing reality in a way that allows you to get the parts out that you want out of something that maybe really happened without really making it what really happened. Because reality, even when you're showing something that sucks, still sucks more than when you show something that sucks. Because reality is more than just those parts, right? Like those pieces of media don't talk about the other parts of the war and don't talk about the other parts of the world conflict that were going on and don't talk about the other parts of things that are very dry and when things aren't happening and aren't well, that's not 100% true, but like they don't dwell on how nothing things can be at the same time. That's the point. I'm not saying obviously World War II wasn't nothing, but like uh there were parts of probably World War II where literally nothing happened and it still sucked. But you don't need to experience that part to understand that World War II sucked. That World War II still had quiet parts where nothing happened sometimes. You don't need to do that for hours of gameplay. You don't need to do that for hours of screen time. You don't need to do that for hours of book reading time, though some books try to put you through it. They're not very good books, in my opinion. Books still need to have a pace. You should be exaggerating a little bit in everything that you do, is my opinion. That's my opinion. Even when you're writing hard science fiction, you need to exaggerate a little bit so that way you're bringing a lens on the things you actually want to talk about and the things that you want to look at and the things that you want to see and the things you want to experience because you don't want to bog people down in things that even the most junkiest of science fiction people would get bored with because you spent 300 pages discussing a single thing that doesn't matter. Unless that's the point. You really got to be good at writing for that to work. I'm not. Um, but that's the kind of writing that I care about and the kind of thing that I want to do with my writing, which I also want to do in God of Limbs, is like, it's not so much about vignettes, but like, I really think that the best fiction distills out a little bit so that way you can feel like elements that aren't being actively discussed are still present without having to actively engage with them. Because in reality, you have to engage with everything. True reality is you have to engage with all the little stuff. And the best media shows that the little stuff is there, but you don't need to worry about it beyond it's there, it's present, it exists, and it matters, but you're not having to be confronted with it as much as you would in actual reality. I think that the best pieces of media know how to dramatize things, so that way they don't not feel realistic, but don't have to be realistic to do so. You don't have to be you don't have to be realistic to capture that stuff. You don't. That's why, in a certain irony, like the worst kind of criticism you can give any piece of media is that it's realistic, because ironically speaking, the if a piece of medium is wanting to feel impactful in almost any way, it should feel realistic and pull from reality. That just means it pulled from reality. Doesn't mean anything else. That means they saw something in reality and decided to put it into fiction. That's all that being realistic really means. Hot take. Probably isn't that hot of a take. Okay, now this definitely needs to be quick, so I think I finally got to this frame, finally. This frame is here, right? Let me start this way. Actually, I delete everything here, right? Yes. We've got one. Like that. This might move forward a little. This might move forward a little bit. Tighten the grip on this. We're getting ready for the pop. Oh, it might happen today. We might actually hit the pop today. We'll see. If you're a good animator, you would just draw the actions first, and then the things that aren't moving, you'd go back and add later. Shh. Just now. I mean, it probably would help. Draw the things that do the most motion first, and then go back and then draw back in the things that don't move at all. That is probably something that would help my pipeline a little bit, maybe. Think about that. Just now. Then if I need to, I can add frames. Remember, if you think that something is going too fast, add frames. If you think that something's going too slow, remove frames. This is a very important thing that I learned from practicing animation, is that even if you spend a bunch of time working on a single frame, let's say you like spend like you draw a single frame and you go through your motion and nothing like something seems wrong, or it works or it doesn't work. And this is something nice that you start seeing frames as a tool. You start seeing frames as like individual assets rather than as something that needs to be in the piece, if that makes sense. So like, sure, you spent a lot of work working on a frame, but that's because you were working on the frame with the intent of being like, okay, I put a frame here does it work, right? And you sometimes can't get that, at least I'm not at the point anyways, that you can't get that until you've at least like gotten an impression of like how it works in its spot. And if it doesn't work in its spot, then you just need to either change it or remove it. And sometimes you like draw out frames because you lose timing a little bit, and you draw something out a little bit too long. And it's just like sometimes the simplest solution is to be like, okay, we didn't need a frame here, remove that frame. Sure, you worked on that frame, but you kind of had to work on that frame to realize that frame didn't need to be there. You know, like you still needed that frame there to maybe do later frames, or yeah, to do later frames. But when it comes to the actual piece itself, you don't need that frame there anymore. That frame doesn't serve anything. The frame didn't process the information that you wanted when you put that point there. So might as well just say fuck it. Frame wasn't helpful. Frame wasn't helpful. Now, this will be a pretty quick motion. I think 3 frames for the draw and then the pop. Yeah, because you get here. This might move actually, because the recoil shouldn't be until this happens. So this, because it should draw and then pop. Yeah. So this, I might need to move this hand forward. How do you do have to change your keyframes? It does happen. If you're a bad artist, you can't do anything on the first try. I mean, I've gotten better at that, I feel like. I mean, if my token art is anything to go by, I've gotten much better at being able to do things on a single pass. That said, rough drafts are important for a reason. First drafts are important for a reason. I think first drafts are important depending on the context of the project you're working on. For example, if you're working in digital, first drafts don't worry first drafts don't matter as much. No, they still matter a little bit. I still do first drafts. I think in this case it's really hard. If I was it would have doubled my animation time, I think. Which is why I really didn't do a first draft for this. But if I was to try maybe more animation, you just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta start with a rough draft, and then go over it. Like it is weird to me how that is more efficient. But I think part of it is like, you need to be able to have something, see where your mistakes are to be able to fix those mistakes, and it is very difficult to make something just on a first pass every single time. I also seem to have fixed whatever my weird overlay problem was. I still don't know what's going on with that, but at least it seems to be fixed now, which is what matters. Ultimately, that's what matters. I'm glad I see. I'm glad I spit in the gods' faces because I'm still going. I'm making progress. I was so close. I was so close to being like, nope, never mind, never mind. Yes, we just here. Yes, we're just here. Oh, I have a dumb idea. Oh, I have a dumb idea, but it has nothing to do with animation. It has everything to do with the next ad break. Like I know if I can catch him. If I can catch him, I know what I'm gonna say probably more before every ad break. I'm going to encourage if you have ads. I'll encourage a couple things. You got it. You're not. People don't want to watch ads, and I know it. I can recommend some things you can do while you wait for the ad. Then it'll work. Oh, try stuff. Try stuff. I think this is something that I also struggle with a lot. Kind of like to continue the tiny crash out I had earlier. I don't know. I sometimes do find that I'm a little bit of a like I can mimic what people do, but I don't necessarily always know why it works, which is why I struggle a little bit and why I'm like, well, I'll just keep doing what I do because I can't just do what somebody else does. In my experience, doing what somebody else does not translate to me doing it all the time. Sometimes I have to just figure it out myself. Um, so hey, like I said, I've learned a little bit better that, one of the things that I personally am actually really good at that I need to utilize more even is that I am very studious. I'm a very studious person. And that study is something that helps me a lot. In a way that's like not like super robotic even. Like I think that I've gotten better at art and drawing and everything that I do because I've been willing to engage and study intellectually, like, what works, what doesn't, and like start to really grapple with that. Because I feel like I feel like sometimes if I think about how I grew up, I just kind of face value more than I care to admit. Not good. Don't just face value things. Always be willing to engage. Always be willing to engage. You know, no, it's a consistent motion, pull and then pop. There might be a pause at the end for like 1 or 2 frames, but show resistance. But a little bit more. We'll say one of the things I've gotten much much better at is those lines connected. I draw my lines all the way out now. That is something I genuinely was not doing very well for a long time. Just a bit. That needs to bulge a little bit more. I need to show that it's like, that it's like trying to, it's getting ready to pop. Get a little bit of that squash. You get a little bit of that squish. More of the scrunching going on. That there. I want to give the. I want them to like narrow in a little bit. Is what I'm going for here. Motion there. And I can say, I feel like I mention a lot how like I struggled a lot with being able to like consistently size things the same. And I think that just was, yeah, I just needed to practice more. Just do it more. God, if you feel like I don't know how to do this thing, you want to know the simplest answer, just do it. Just keep doing it till it works. You're gonna suck at it. You're gonna suck at it. That's fine. You're allowed to suck at things. People need to be okay with being allowed to suck at things. And you are allowed to suck at things. Because guess what? Keep doing something you suck at long enough, you might do at least okay after a while. And then sometimes you do something so much that you sometimes are like, why do I still suck at this? Because you don't suck. Just something about the day. Something weird. Especially if you're doing it, if it's something competitive. This is the thing that I sometimes need to remind myself is like, my bad days is somebody's good day. It happens. Just don't like how often it happens, but it does happen, and it's still a fact. Like, you know, like I don't suddenly suck. It's just somebody is really having a good day. Fair enough. Sometimes I have really good days where I just pop off and go fucking nuts. You're not good. When you are specifically against others, you're not always going to be at your peak. That is fine. Not always. That's why it's your peak. Don't judge somebody by their peak. My hot take. Don't judge somebody by their peaks and valleys. Not getting too, but I think this is doing what I wanted to. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's doing what I want it to. That's always the struggle for me. Is it actually doing what I want it to? This is something though I'm like, don't be hard on yourself about that because actually I have been there's only like a couple parts of this animation that don't do things that I don't want it to. Like actually the bulk of this animation does what I want it to. And that's saying a lot for me, somebody who has always had an interest in animation and never had the confidence to do it until now. Like that's just how it goes sometimes. Yes, we get that there. Yes, we get I'm just glad my internet seems to be working this time. I still have no idea what was going on Friday, Thursday. That was Thursday. Yeah, like I will say, like I will admit, I do get a little bit of catharsis though out of knowing, like, oh, it wasn't me. oh, it actually really wasn't me, or if the part of me that was being affected that night was also being kind of agitated by the fact that my internet just straight up was fucking me. And I feel like I had some confirmation yesterday because, like, whilst we were still getting rough matches, I played a little bit with Sean as well. At least it felt like I was able to compete. It felt like I was actually, like, hitting people consistently, and like being more oppressive as a force, and like my guns were working. But then even in the middle of that match, I just straight up had a lock, like an internet lock, and like I froze apparently, and I came back and Sean was like, "Are you okay? What happened?" I was like, "I guess my internet just had a hiccup." It's really frustrating that that can happen even with fiber, and I'm just like, God damn it. But hey, that lets me know, like, sometimes it really is just out of my. Sometimes things are just out of your control. Skill doesn't matter sometimes when literally have to contend with the fact that technology will just say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That helps me a lot, actually. It helps me a little bit to know that it's like, okay, it wasn't me. Because I do believe I don't play quote unquote bad. I certainly don't do it on purpose. I actually think as time has gone on, I've been like, actually, I think I'm pretty good at video games. I am more than competent personally. I feel like I just have blind spots that happen every now and then, and freak accidents that happen every now and then. But at least I'm willing to be like, they're freak accidents and they're fun for it. I like a fun freak accident. I do. I like me a fun freak accident. Give me a fun freak accident. I do like that the eyes track it. And actually, yeah. Nah. I think there's just stuff. I have my blind spots. Apparently, I'm very bad at being observant sometimes. Like I miss details really easily. Um, but like that's less of like me being like, oh, I can't play video games. Like I actually think skill wise, like what do I talk about a lot? I feel like hot dogging is like one of my favorite things to do in any video game, right? Like I feel like being able to um show off a little is something I like to do in a video game. Like being able to like style when a video game can let you do that, and that is certainly not a you're bad at video games. That I think does require me being like, okay, I actually have to be good at video games to do that sometimes. Um, and I think for me, like I what I appreciate doing and what I like to do when I can get into a video game that I would claim like is like, oh, it allows you to style a little bit, is like being able to make it very personal. Because like I come from a standpoint that I really enjoy dance. I like really enjoy dancing. And what works for dancing for me is that dancing my favorite dancing is not choreography, right? Like it's not choreography that much. Like it's style and expression, and I actually work that into my gameplay a lot. I think like when my gameplay is at its best, is it is not me playing the game effectively. It is me, in a certain sense, stylistically expressing my ability to utilize game mechanics creatively and expressively and dynamically. That is what I like when I can really get into a game, and when a game really allows me to do that. That's why I really enjoy a lot of action games and stuff, and always talk about how one of the things that I like to do in any video game is being able to hot dog, is being able to like really like skirt danger and threaten stuff, and like do so in a way that and be successful at it. That is something I really enjoy doing. But that's just one way to play a video game. That's one way to engage with things. I like being able to flirt with danger. That's why as time goes on, like games that start turning me off is when like the quote unquote best or right way to play is to actually play away from danger. And I get it. I get it. I'm not saying I'm not stupid. I'm not saying like, "Oh wow. How dare the most effective way to play do something is to not put yourself in danger." Like, yes, obviously. Yes. Yes. But I don't find that fun. I don't find it fun. I play a lot of video games, especially a lot of action video games, to feel that like kind of like thrill of like I just got out with like the skin of my teeth. I barely scraped by. I like that feeling. I like that feeling a lot because I think that the most impressive things that can happen are when you pulled something off at like a sliver. Like yeah, like as a sliver, like you barely got through it. But I feel like, especially in a lot of multiplayer games, people play safe. They find the most effective safe thing that they can do that works, and it's like then they won't risk anything. And I'm like, I don't want to be that. I just don't want to be that. That's just not fun. Just because the meta is the most effective thing doesn't mean it's fun, because the meta is just what works the best. The meta is just what will get me to win most effectively, efficiently, and repetitively without me feeling. There's no feeling in a meta to me sometimes. There's no personal expression. There's no risk. Metas aren't a skill. Metas aren't a skill issue. Metas are choose the right choice. That's my hot take on metas. And I think my like point of view doesn't have to come at the sacrifice of like, well, then you should just play for fun. No, I don't think so either. And I think that is where I do run into a little bit of a struggle where it's like on whole then I just admitted that I play in a way that almost like dictates, right? Like actually no, you specifically have now made a play style. Oh, I did the wrong thing. Actually. Oh shit, I'm pulling the wrong arm. I need to pull the other arm. Oh fuck. I made a mistake. Hold on. Yeah, because this is when things start moving. Got it. Pulled the wrong hand. Wrong way. But you gotta be willing to do this stuff. Realize when you do something wrong, and then you fix it. You fix it. You have to just live with something being wrong. Anyways, I get that. That like if I'm getting frustrated by that, sure, that's a little bit on me. But that's why I mean I have my friends like James who remind me like, hey, then do something that works for a little bit. Don't bog yourself down on just trying to challenge yourself because sometimes challenging yourself isn't fun. But also it's like I run into a little bit of a dilemma too because I feel like sometimes I then am like okay if they're always like why my friends are like why don't you just play Centennial more. Centennial is your comfort pick. The problem is then I get into a mindset sometimes where I'm like my comfort pick isn't working, guys, so nothing's working, so it makes it harder to have fun. Like it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that too. When like I don't enjoy the Centennial because it's a comfort pick. I enjoy the Centennial because it's a gun I like to choose. Sometimes it's a gun that I feel is very effective and I enjoy using, not because it's the best gun in the game, and not because I only want to use the Centennial. Also, oh shoot, I didn't. Well, before you go, I'll go to your ad break. Have a good time in ads. If you want to suggest what you could do, go get yourself a stand up and stretch. Go tell. Oh, it's too late. I fucked up. I forgot. I was gonna say go tell friends about the stream if you want to like go do something for a few minutes while the ads happen. You could go tell your friends. You could go tell your friends about the stream. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna at least try to do this once a stream, like before an ad break. I'm like, oh, if you gotta go deal with ads, I understand. We'll be back here in a little bit. Want something to do? Go tell your friends that we're streaming right now. That way they can come back after the ads are done. I gotta learn. I'm learning. Actually, I'll be right back for myself. I need to go grab something downstairs. Oh no, I startled the boy because I stood up. Okay. After dinner. Actually, it's it's the birthday time for a friend, so I'll probably get food or something. Jackson's birthday is, I believe, Friday, Monday, Friday. Why don't you stream your friend's birthday? Because it's his birthday, damn it. If he doesn't want to stream, that's fine. I respect my friends. I appreciate that they even do this dumb shit with me. Especially knowing kind of how constrained some of my friends are. Like, I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate that people watch, so. Your friend, along with some bad news. Oh no. Oh no. Slime. Where'd you have. Where's the body? Slime, where's the body? Do you have a cement brick? Hopefully, the good news is you have a cement brick. Just saying. It helps. You can always find a pig pen, too. That one, I've always heard of that one, but I actually don't know how effective that would be, because I feel like the pigs would still be pretty slow. I don't think they would be fast enough. Maybe? I don't know. Nice! That's really good. Which slime? If you know anybody who needs commission work, I'm trying to improve my clientele. I really am. Actually, that's something. Maybe I should also vocalize that more on the streams. Like, if you need commissions, I'm opening commissions. So. Oh no. Well, on to the Google Drive with that one. Can't send it over. You can't send it over the goddamn over to Discord. That won't work. Welcome back, everyone. I hope your ads are good. I have hummus. Hummus was 50 at the store, and that's a fucking steal. Honestly, I have a really good local grocery store. I don't know how. I live in a town that actually wants their people to eat. It's fucking weird. I feel like. Thank you, Lawrence, for being a place where human beings are accepted to live here and expected to live here. Same. Like a caveman with my hummus and crackers. Hey, no problem. I mean, it's all there. It's on the Discord. I also have my art station, so I don't know if I like that combo. Guys, I'm about to say something alarming, and I don't know if it's the hummus, the cracker, or both. That felt like eating a cigarette butt. I have saltine crackers, and I have hummus. Something about it made me think of a cigarette butt,
when I ate it. Let me try again. Maybe it's just a weird first one. There's like a smokiness. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know what that first one was about. I don't know why that first one tasted like it just gave me the visceral experience of eating a cigarette butt. I don't know why. The piker returns, and yet I did it again, and I'm like, maybe it was just the first one that tasted that way, and it was. It's fine. But yeah, and I say that slime not to be like I say that slime actually not to say like I need commissions from you. This is something I want to be better. Do you know somebody who needs a commission? Do you have friends who are like looking for commission work? Because my most recent commission came from somebody else being like, "Hey," it came from me rating someone, and then them having somebody in chat being like, "I need somebody to commission something," and then the person I rated being like, well, Canary's here. They might be able to do something for you if you hook up. And then that was the first commission I've had in a long time, and it was a super positive experience. So when I say, if you know somebody who needs a commission, I don't mean, do you need a commission? I mean, do you know anyone who needs a commission? If you do, this is also the other, if, this is not a requirement. Just me letting you know, like, if you do know somebody, let them know that you know somebody who has open commissions right now. These are ifs. These are ifs. They are not expectation. They're if. That's fine. That's fine too. Still, everybody talk. If you have friends, still let them know. Like that's fine. You don't need. You definitely don't need to talk. This also doesn't need to be anybody new. It just has to be people you know. Tell your fan. You got family or friends that you talk to regularly. You share shit with them. That's what I'm trying to be better about. Is like be like everybody knows somebody. And they don't have to be a stranger. They don't have to be somebody you don't know. You don't have to be talking to random people if you don't want to. Obviously not. But you hang out with people. If you know one person, that's still one more person. I mean, if that person knows another person, that's one more person. That's the thing I'm learning and realizing is like what makes that work, especially for the McElroys, because they talk a lot and they appreciate, and I've like kind of like understood that a little bit better to be like, okay, yeah, I actually have to be willing to, because again, like I grew up not really having support from people, but I think if you saying that kind of I understand what it's like to be like I don't really know people. I didn't really know people. I really didn't know anybody growing up. Like I feel like I didn't really know someone until late high school, early college. And some of the first people I knew, like really knew, were not even people I ever met. They were people I knew on the internet, that we played Xbox and stuff together because they were people who actually valued me. This is weird. High school is a terrible, terrible time. Adolescence is a terrible, terrible time where nobody understands anything and people don't understand why it is important that you need to treat people like people because we are kids. Because as kids, we are not treated like people anyways. So I think there's a little bit of that. And I want to like I want to vocalize that a little bit. I think there's a major problem in which because a lot of other elements don't see kids as people, kids don't see themselves as people. That's not good. We just have a major problem in general in which we don't see other people as people for a lot of different reasons that I don't even think I need to really discuss, but go even beyond the superficial.
People will find reasons to not see someone as a person, and it's fucked up. One of my favorite things about Catch 22. Catch 22 is an anti-war story that also goes farther than just World War II bad. There is a moment near the end of Catch 22 that is one of my favorite moments in the entire book, that is now one of my favorite moments in any book, especially any war book, that gave me insight onto something that I had never considered of why war bad. Like, I was always like, I've always been a pacifist. I've always believed that violence is not the answer, and if we resort to violence, something has really gone wrong. Like, genuinely, I do not believe that violence is good. Like, even if you could argue that it's necessary, it doesn't mean that I have to think it's good. Um, but uh, uh, with that in mind, one of the things that makes Catch 22 such an important book to me is it's one of those pieces of media that I don't know anything that does this, certainly not in a war piece, is to be willing to admit that the presence of that war is a failure due to a very specific problem that exists in the world, um, regardless of whose side you're fighting on. Guys, we have like an abuse problem. Humanity has a pretty bad problem with that. Saying, I think humanity struggles with being good to itself, and I think that's a very interesting thing that Catch 22 brings up. I had never heard a piece of fiction even talk about that. I think it's a problem, and I think we need more pieces of media being willing to interface with that in a more constructive way, and being able to like call out like, hey, uh, things like World War II happened because structures of abuse exist everywhere, not just in the bad places. Like even the quote unquote good guys have structures of abuse, and it's not good. It's not a good thing. Like you could be fighting for the right thing and it still isn't good. It's still not. But hey, that's why I also realized that like, things like Band of Brothers and stuff, like there's some really good World War II media out there that understands, hey, even if it was necessary to fight that one, it's still bad. Everybody had a bad time. I like that. I like that show a lot. And here's the thing, I actually think that what I've learned growing up, finally, is that I think there needs to be a better understanding of like being able to recognize when oneself is is doing something that is not good for somebody else, even if it doesn't bother you. I try to. That's what I believe. Be able to talk about stuff like that. Be able to discuss, have conversations. Yes, I'm on the side of break the cycle. Break the cycle. Gotta break the cycle. Gotta break the cycle if we want to see shit get better. Well, butts. 2:46. I'm gonna go for at least 3 hours, I think. We might get the pop. Getting close. I think I could do at least 2 more frames. They had a lot more leftover hummus than I thought I did. Brought up both containers because it's like, I know it was pretty low on the other one. I probably finished this one pretty quick and start the second one. I was like, I probably should put it back. It's unopened, so it'll be fine. Probably. Oh no! Data realization. I had that like moment where I was like, man, that was a bad line. I was like, oh, it probably wouldn't have been bad if I was wearing my funny glove. On my funny glove. I can do lines. Oh, look at that. I have to remember the tools I have. That's just the way. I think it goes both ways. It definitely reduces friction, but now I'm like very steady. Because I think for me, that's what the problem I have. I think a lot of people get like, not like rug burn, but they get like friction on their hands when they don't use a glove. Me, it just allows me to reduce friction that would cause like bumps like that. It just means steadying my hand is a little bit harder now. Press my in to be able to steady my hand for like a small stroke. Definitely want one more hold. Actually, this whole I need to redesign this whole frame right here. This is just wrong. This is just this is just wrong. Funny is recoil wise, like it actually makes sense like when it pops. Today you learned that PNG files don't compress well. Oh, guess what? You gotta hit that JPEG. You gotta hit that JPEG. Oh, don't even get me started about TIFFs. Oh my god, TIFFs are insane. Do you want the... You want... This is my thing. I'm just like, the value you get out of a TIFF, you gotta fucking... That thing has gotta be print quality. Because TIFF, I don't see the value in using a TIFF. You want a single photo file to take over a gigabyte? Make a TIFF. TIFFs are absurd.
Bimps! You prefer the bimps? Uh, I don't know if they can open up a bitmap. That's a good question. I have no idea. PNGs and JPEGs. I'm basic. Funny is like, I might make this. I might convert this. So instead of redoing this, instead of redoing all the hands, I think it'll be a part of this. Like it'll actually be. It'll be a part of the pop because it. I like how it. Ugh. 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 Out. Goes out. I like it, but it's gross. I made it gross. Oops. It wasn't supposed to be gross, but it's gross now. There we go. I'm glad I pushed through. Always remember. I think that's the takeaway. Always remember. Sometimes you just gotta push through. I had a rough start. That's okay. Push through it, and we're here. Line, dang it. I mean, this is where I've learned that the paint bucket is a super useful tool. The paint bucket is so goddamn useless, especially if you're getting into to cell shading stuff. It's just not worth coloring everything, and it take too much sanity. Also doing well in that I haven't even once tried to see the
preview. Honestly, I should play the preview anytime an ad plays. That's what I should do. I should switch to the preview for ads, so that way it's like, okay, if there's we're gonna do anything for the ad, I'm just sitting here. Let's at least see what progress I've got. But I shouldn't do that in moments like this. This is crunch time. This is the crunch time.
Thank you, auto recovery. I'm glad I didn't want that anyway.
I have to remember auto recovery also doesn't save. It's not an auto save, it's an auto recovery, so in the case that it crashed. But if I close it like normal, I'll lose all of the progress. Gotta love it. Good program design. There we go. Ooh, train that muscle. Ooh, train that muscle. Also, it seems that whatever that issue I was having earlier has, like, dissipated. I still don't know what was causing it. It was freaking me out, but it's not happening anymore, so I'll take it. Very weird. It was very, very weird. I have no idea what was causing it to happen. I could make some guesses, actually. It had something to do, because, like, technically, Animate really wants to treat everything that you do as a shape. It, like, wants to, like, be like, oh, you made a shape, so that shape can be moved around if you want to, and it acts like a kind of pseudo layer. But that was not helping me earlier. Personally, I think it was just Animate trying to do something without my permission. It was trying to be helpful, and it made things worse. Thanks, Animate. I appreciate you trying. Don't do that again. Eventually, it figured out its shit and went, okay, maybe they don't want me doing that. Or the cosmic rays stopped. There we go. There we go. Oh, I should draw that line. We'll do one more. Here, I have an idea. Okay, we do that. Cut it here. Then I just need to ever so careful. I'm gonna try this. I don't think it'll work, but I'm gonna try it anyways. I didn't mean to do that. I don't even know what a camera. I don't even know what a camera is. I've been framed. That's perfect. Actually, I really like that. A little bit stiff. It's a little bit stiff. Thinking. Hold on. We're gonna need a hold frame. Like I just did a hold frame before. So like around here, I need a hold frame. Yeah, I need a hold frame in there. We're gonna try something. Yeah, around here, I need a hold frame. Nope. We're gonna try this. Do that. There's probably a more efficient way to do this, but eh. Try that. Try adding just like a little bit of texture to hold it there a little bit. That works better. That does work better. I've learned something. I've learned something that I think I kind of got actually from watching like weirdly a bit of a I don't remember where I saw this, but I was seeing like kind of the how it was made for the new glitch thing with the princess the one that hates Disney. The animation that hates Disney. Fair enough. But they did a little bit of a like hold jitter. And I think that's what I was missing because I feel like if you just hold static, then you hold perfectly. But if you add like just a little bit of displacement, you get the sense of motion without actually having to redraw anything. Which is something that I particularly it's something that I particularly actually use a lot. Is just moving. It's like a frame a little bit. So that might be something we're trying. Like it's more to a proof of concept, not necessarily the direction I want it to go. Let's see.
Try that. Let's try this. Uh-oh. Green boy's here. Just trying to hold. Maybe one more. Oh, I could do that. That's good. I just straight up didn't know I could do that. Hmm. Ah, this is the curse. This is the curse that I run into all every time. It's like I want to redraw everything. You know what? No. Hmm. I'm trying to make decisions. It's hard. Yep, I don't like it. It was worth a shot, but it does not work here. See, I think that this is one of the struggles with animation that I'm running into right here is that like there are shortcuts. They can exist. They do exist. But even I kind of notice it like when something takes a lot of shortcuts like that that like there's something off about it. And I want it to flow better. Guess what? Want to know what makes it flow better? Drawing the frames. I don't know. I don't know if it's my style or my stubbornness, but I have a hard time really just being okay with a still frame like that. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right to me, anyways. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but it doesn't quite hook up for me. My problem. Problem is the human brain is a little bit too good at being able to tell when, like, the human brain is a little bit too good at being able to tell when something is off, right? Like, you can pick up on that stuff, even if it's slight. It's just like, damn it. Damn it. It doesn't like it. It doesn't like it when stuff happens like that. Thanks, human brain. Just trying my best. That's also my problem, is like anytime I've tried to just do a shortcut like that, I'm just like, it doesn't work. It does not work. Shortcuts don't work all the time. I want to. Trust me, I want shortcuts to work all the time, but they don't always work, and when they don't, it feels way too noticeable. But I think there's literally a thing in the animator's survival guide about like you're gonna want to find shortcuts. The people you're working with are gonna want to find shortcuts. I'm sorry your cat did that. How dare they? My cat was just screaming earlier. Oh, now he's staring up the window, gargoyling. Well, he's not really gargoyle. Well, he's kind of gargoyling. He's like more like bronze lion statuing is what he's doing. Let's see. It is frustrating though. I feel like every time that I'm like, maybe this will save me time, and then it's like, nope, it wasted my time. Oh well. Sometimes you just gotta take those lumps. Would have been better off just drawing the frame again. There we go. Might end up after this. I might just like veg out a little bit. We'll see. I'm just like, boy, I'm way more tired than I expected to be. Oh, I know why. I've had 1 cup of tea. That's why. Trying to cut back on my caffeine a little bit. I've been for the sake like, believe it or not, I need to be tired a little bit more than I was, because I have a suspicion that I had been drinking so much caffeine that like I just wasn't getting sleep because my body still had caffeine in it. So I've like just been like, okay, all right, not a pot of coffee every single goddamn day. Then I've had a cup of tea, and I'm trying to be a little bit more like, okay, no, you feel tired sometimes. That is your body telling you that you are tired. You should feel tired. It is a good thing to feel tired sometimes. So after this, I will probably just veg out a little bit, because it's okay to feel tired. Using a supplement to not feel tired is not actually that good for your body.
That's coming from me, who really likes coffee. Trust me. This is not something that I say going like, man, I didn't need coffee anyways. It's me going, man, I really like coffee though. Bad coffee I like. I make bad coffee and I like it still. That's why I'm like trying to be like, okay, so a little bit more tea these days. Trying to just generally be running less on coffee because again, coffee doesn't not make you tired, it just makes you work. I feel like caffeine doesn't so much like keep you from being tired so much as it allows your body, it kind of like tricks your body into being like you're not tired. So then when your like body is like, no, you're definitely tired, but you have a lot of caffeine in it, your caffeine is like, yeah, well, that's fine, but you know, you still it makes you active. It makes you active, which is not good when your body needs periods to say that it's not active anymore. There we go. Unfortunately, our bodies are not really car engines as much as I feel like the world really wants it to be. Fortunately, your bodies really do tell you and need you to stop doing things for periods at a time, regardless of what anyone says. Your body is going to be like, hey, buddy, you need to stop. And you'll be like, why? I can keep going. And then you'll be like, and your body will be like, no, you can't, you fucking moron. Okay. I'll call it there for today. The boy is screaming. I don't know why. He's screaming from the top of his lungs. I think I need one more hold frame there before the drawstring. I feel like it's too fast and it's too fluid, or I need to get rid of a frame. I need texture. Something about it feels way too robotic. It needs a little bit more holding, a little bit more acceleration. Yeah, I think I need a hold. I need a hold before the drawstring pull. Because again, nothing runs on a linear velocity. Everything has acceleration to it, and that acceleration is important. It really is. I'm probably gonna call it here. My brain demands it. The brain demands it, Justin. I mean, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. I should probably take more of a rest, anyways. That's why I like. If I don't end up doing these every Saturday, it's because I'll be. Well, actually, no. This is going to be changing anyways, so this might be changing days. We'll see. So we'll see. We're going to be shifting some stuff up because life is hard to manage and have to adjust. I have to adjust, which is fine, but it is hard to manage sometimes. So I'm going to start wrapping up this rodeo. Ugh, my knee fucked up. Why is my knee fucked up? My knee can't be fucked up. I'm 32. Jesus. Lungs on this boy. The creature is belting. I don't even know what about. What? What? Been screaming all day. What? All right. What? What? I hope you can hear him freaking out. Nothing. Oh my god. I need to make just veg for a little bit, I think. Eat some food. So, thanks for joining, everybody. Don't you interrupt me, sir. Wow, what are you doing? Why are you yelling? Do you have anything to tell the audience? Hmm? Quiet down now that I've got you in a hold. I have him in a sleeper hold. I have him in the cat hold. Oh, you're purring now, huh? Alright. Well, thank you for joining, everybody. We're going to do one more thing before we go, though. Before the end of every stream. I'm going to make a prompt. Then I'm going to have to draw. You guys can participate in chat. All you got to do is type. Whatever chat says, I'll use a reference. And then I'll share that image before we raid out. Not realizing the apple in my mouth was muting me. Ah. I think that's enough. Leon, seriously. Hey. He's just been freaking out a lot recently. I don't know what his deal is. What? What? Oh, he's going goblin. What? What? Mind? He's gone full on cretin mode. I feel in danger. Alright. I gotta draw this. Paint. An apple. Apple, okay? All you need to know is that it's an apple. This is a microphone. Yeah, see, you can tell that's a microphone. Kind of. Yeah, that's about right. That's how I felt today. Alright, stick around to the very end, everybody. I also do a bit of a closing bit. We do a raid after every stream, so that way the vampires in our chat can keep watching. Or the daywalkers in our chat can keep watching, actually. Just everybody else out there, make sure to go unlock. Oh, darn, you're right, I should have. Just make sure to go unlock your doors and windows. It's no longer lunchtime for daywalkers. Thank you for joining, everybody. Hope you had a good time and you enjoyed the show. If you're able to join the live show, thank you for stopping by and chatting and watching. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for taking the time to going back and rewatching the VOD. We appreciate it. If you're out there and you enjoyed this and you want to see more of what we're up to, I recommend scrolling down below and following or clicking any of the links. Link to all the socials in the Discord. We post when we go live on any one of those platforms, as well as anything else that we're up to, and just generally kind of hang out with the rest of the community there. Good time on the Discord. Speaking of which, a shout out to our community there. Everyone who follows, you guys are a wonderful audience, and we appreciate you. If we do anything particularly entertaining or noteworthy, feel free to clip it and share it on the internet. Just make sure to also hashtag with MCCanary. Or link it back to the stream so people can find more of the good stuff we do here. And if you want to see the stream grow, you gotta let people know. As I was saying earlier, I appreciate that you guys have been telling your friends. You've been talking about the stream with people. It does mean a lot to me that you guys have been willing to do that. And it's one of the only way that anybody is really learning about the stream, because the only other advertising I do are the posts that I make. So I don't do any promotion or anything like that, or I don't promote any of the posts that I make. So the only other way people can learn about the stream is if you tell your friends. So go tell people about the stream. Go tell your friends about the stream. I won't. And as always, a huge thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon, Coffee, and Twitch. Your generosity allows us to continue to expand the stream, as well as take on more projects, and the stream would not be made possible without viewers like you. We thank you. If you want to see your name added to this list, as well as a couple of the benefits you can get, you could always subscribe directly on Twitch, or you can check out the Patreon page or Coffee here. It'll show you everything that you can get, and any amount is always appreciated. Once again, thank you. And thank you to your mods who do a wonderful job of holding back the robot army in front of becoming famous. Again, thank you for toughing it out. I have no idea what happened at the beginning, and it's fine now. I got punked by OBS. I'll never know. I'll never know. I'll get you through housekeeping to get you on your way. Check out the rest of our friends in Goblin Entertainment here. And Linktree has links to everyone's channels and everything that they've done and they've been up to, and the rest of my stuff here. There's everything that I post to. So you should go check out Goblin Entertainment. It's great. It's good. Yeah. Stick around. We'll head over to someone. Oh, I wasn't looking at my raids like I usually am. I was focused on my outro. What the hell? I never do that these days. What the heck? Why would I do that? That makes no goddamn sense. Let's see. Hepper's on. Joe's on too. I feel like we haven't raided Joe in a while, but they're also playing Claire. I don't want to spoil, because I do want to play Claire at some point. It looks up me and my friend Sally. Like, it looks like a good time. Let's go say hi to the Pepper. We haven't said hi to the Pepper recently. So, everybody go say hi to her. She's playing Pokemon. She's a good gal. I'm gonna go turn my brain off a little bit, I think. Stick around for that. Otherwise, I have to hit the button. Otherwise, have yourselves a good evening. Have yourselves a good afternoon. Take it easy. Next week, be prepared. This just gives me more time. This just gives me more time for mothership. So I'm excited. I am excited. Unfortunately, we couldn't play yesterday, but that's fine. People matter. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your brains. Apparently yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day. Go take care of your brain. Don't do nothing that hurts your brain. And if you do, I'll fight. And OBS